Why is it easier for Satan to deceive lost people than saved people? Another interesting thing from this book here about Demonology by King James. And it says here on page 30, for that is the difference between God's miracles and the devil's. God is a creator. What he makes appear in miracle, it is so in effect. As Moses' rod being cast down was no doubt turned into a natural serpent, whereas the devil, as God's ape, counterfeiting that by his magicians, made their ones to appear so, only to men's outward senses, as proven in effect by their being devoured by the other. For it is no wonder that the devil may delude our senses, since we see by common proof that simple jugglers will make 100 things seem both to our eyes and ears otherwise than they are. Now as to the magician's part of the contract, it is in a word that thing which I said before, the devil hunts for in all men. And it goes down here to the footnote, it says, it is believed that any power that is displayed by Satan or the devil is only of an illusion that takes place within the mind of the deceived, the effects of which would only be seen in the imaginations of the affected. And I got to thinking about this and I thought, why is it that there are lost people and that they'll see UFOs, they'll see ghosts or whatever else type of thing like that? But even further than that, why is it that lost people can be so easily deceived by artificial intelligence generated videos and whatever else? We'll laugh about this artificial intelligence stuff. I was actually showing my wife and my son the other day something about this cat, and he's, some Christmas thing with this cat or whatever. It's all AI, and we're just picking out, oh, look at that, they didn't do that right, oh, that the hand isn't formed right, or this, or oh, this, they're moving something and it changes, and AI is terrible. Oh, it'll get better and better. I don't know about that, because see, it's one of Satan's illusions. Satan is the one that's behind artificial intelligence. It's not of God. All right? And if you understand what the Bible says, that people are one day going to be worshiping the image of the beast, they're going to be using artificial intelligence. That is the beast system that's coming. And people that are lost are easily deceived by that whole system. Whereas those of us that are saved, we're looking and we're going, wait a second. There was so many things that we saw during the Biden years, where Biden would walk out and there'd be some glitching in the video, and like some guy's hand is like this, and all of a sudden Joe Biden walks right through it or something, or these weird glitches that you see with artificial intelligence. And for saved people, we just look and go, look at this. What is this all about? And I see Chick Publications, they'll send out their newsletter thing, which I'm subscribed to, and they're using artificial intelligence generated images. And I can look at that and I think, it's not real. They're using AI. I have a problem with that. Big problem with that. But I can see it, I can spot it, and I can say that proportions of that guy's face aren't right. And this, and you see these older people, and they're, real smooth, perfect faces, and the muscular, it's not real. That's fake. I see these little short videos come up in the feed, and it'll be Porch Pirate, and they go, and the thing explodes, and the one time I clicked on it, and it was, what is this all about? People stealing packages, and you look and you go, wait, no, that's not real. That's, not there. And it used to be that they had the little thing that said Sora on it or something, and but now that's not even there anymore. But there are people that would watch that and say, wow, that's actually real. It's terrible. So what's going to happen in the future? Oh, I don't know. People are going to believe some things about the Antichrist. He's calling fire down from heaven and all kinds of stuff in the sight of men. They're going to be using a combination of some weather warfare type technologies, directed energy weapons, I believe, but also artificial intelligence. And you're an atheist or somebody that believes in science. I believe in science as well. But let me ask you a question. What is the end of this thing? Where does this lead to? See, celebrities, in the past, the old school thing of deceiving people with Hollywood, you could meet a celebrity. My father actually was working at Ford New Holland, and the movie Witness, it had Harrison Ford in it. They actually came to the plant where my father was working. My father was a senior engineer, and they came in, they said, we want to use some of your equipment, we'd like to Is there some, kind of a sponsorship thing we can do here? We'll show some of your equipment in our movie, and then you can give us some money for that and whatever. They were working the whole deal out, and Harrison Ford was with them. And my father walked up and said, "Oh, hi, my daughter's a fan of you from the Star Wars thing, and can I have your autograph?" He said, "Yeah, sure." See, met a celebrity. I actually auditioned for that movie. I don't know if I think I've told that story before, but I actually auditioned for the Witness movie, and the little boy that was that had seen the murder and things, not recommending the movie, but he had seen a murder, and then he went into this witness protection program type of deal, and Harrison Ford was an undercover police officer. That's the theme of the movie. But that little boy, I stood right beside him, and I would have gotten the part except for the fact I was too tall. So my height, but thankfully I didn't get into Hollywood, but I actually was right there with Hollywood producers and things. Yeah, my family, they were modern Christians. Big problem there. That's why they were involved in that stuff. But the whole point I'm trying to make is movies are fake, but at least you could meet the real people back in those days. Oh, by the way, my father and my older brother were actually in the Witness movie. They were there was a funeral scene, and my father and older brother were actually posing as Amishmen in that funeral scene. So, wow, so impressive, huh? But page 59 here, I'm going to read this. It says here, "For neither is it able to them to use any false cure upon a patient, except the patient first believe in their power, and so hazard the false luster of his own soul." Again, people being deceived, this time by the medical establishment. King James is writing about here. But it says here, "But what is their power against the magistrate? Lesser or greater, according as he deals with them. For if he be slothful towards them, God is very able to make them instruments to waken and punish his sloth. But if he is the contrary, he, according to the just law of God and allowable law of all nations, will be diligent in the examining and punishing of them. God will not permit their master to trouble or hinder so good of a work." In other words, thine own wickedness shall correct thee. The Bible talks about this. You have wicked people, and the devil says, "I'm going to deceive them." God's not going to protect you if you reject him. I don't believe in God. I think it's stupid and funny and whatever else. Then you're going to be deceived on some level. You might have enough brains to say, "Hey, you know what? Yeah, this AI stuff, it's a joke. It's stupid looking. It's ridiculous." And I'll tell you right now, they're going to automate things. I saw something yesterday again that Trump was saying about, we're going to have, the big beautiful bill. It's going to make big beautiful robots and whatever else. We're going to have robots and artificial things, in the workforce, and we'll have people there too. They'll have to take care of the robots. Oh yeah, they will. People will be taking care of the robots all the time. All right, I promise you that, because all the automation and everything else and all the computers and whatever, it just makes more problems as it gets more advanced. But see, why do they have to do it? Because the love of money is the root of all evil. See, what's that have to do with it? They have been scheming now for thousands of years, because there's a limited supply of gold and silver and other precious metals, semi-precious metals and things. What can you use for money? So to keep your money scams going, to avoid the inevitable hyperinflation of all currencies, they all happen that way. To stop that from occurring, you have to be able to move inflation over this way and change this and do that, and we'll have more work for less money, and we'll have to make robots that don't have to sleep and they can work 24 hours a day, and hopefully there'll be minimal things and it won't make a problem. And see, that's what's going on here. And so the deceived, the people that are lost, back over 400 years ago, King James writing about this, and he said, if these people are lost, then Satan will deceive them. If they're saved, if they're born again, the Holy Spirit of God will show them the truth. Isn't that amazing? Because you can see it plainly out there in the world. It just blows my mind. But the footnote here, it says on page 60, this goes back to the earlier statement that only the weak-minded are deceived. There is a psychological study that one who convinces himself of a truth will make it real within their own mind and will similarly create a placebo effect. Yeah, I don't believe we're in the end times. I don't know. I don't think it's that bad. I mean, it's been bad before, and you know, I mean, what comes after artificial intelligence? Oh, it's going to be this utopia where everybody, just gets to sit around and whatever else, and we don't have to work. Okay. You know how much of a nightmare it would be for me to say, when I get my lathe here, I'm gonna set my lathe in this general vicinity right here, and this is one of my tools, a scraper here, and I'm just gonna have a robot out here just going, making wood turnings or something. I want to work. Okay. I want to split firewood. I want to saw firewood. I want to go out and dig something with a shovel. I want to go out and I want to work. But see, these satanic billionaires like Elon Musk and Bill Gates and these idiots that just steal other people's ideas and then market them, and then look how brilliant they are. They're not brilliant. And their damnation is just, if you've seen the last video. But these guys, they have this, we're just going to be able to sit around and just, sit there and just watch our robots do all of our work for us. Do you realize how horrible that would be? Not being able to work? You say, well, no, you'd be able to work, you'd be out here and things, but the robots will do your housework while you're out here or something. No, I don't like that idea either. See, and the whole thing is, if it were true, it would be a nightmare, but, it's not true. Okay? You see, because what they're actually doing is they're going to eliminate large numbers of people, and they need the robots to replace the people. That's what the reality of it is. And again, you can see this thing coming. This isn't just some kind of a weird Christian conspiracy or whatever else. They're already automating. I was talking to the log truck driver that delivered our firewood logs, and he told me how that there was a factory in the area, and that they laid off over 100 people because of automation. This isn't a very wealthy area. There's not a lot of good jobs up in northern Maine, and laying off over 100 people because of automating, the systems and whatever else. A lot of people lost good jobs. Logging companies and logging crews and things that used to be up here in northern Maine, they used to employ hundreds of men out there working in the forests and everything. Now you get a couple guys with these big machines just going around, grab the tree, and cut it off, put it on its side and run it through, and you don't even have to cut limb the branches. It just runs it through the thing, smashing it off, cuts it off, bucks it to length. Take a man a couple hours to do a job, and this, maybe not a couple hours, but decent amount of time. These guys, the big machines, the feller bunchers and things like that, they get logs, trees felled, limbed, and bucked in a matter of a minute or two. It's crazy. We've seen them. We've watched them in this area here. Look them up on YouTube if you haven't seen them. But that's where things are going. See? It isn't going to get better. It's not, we're heading towards better times. No, it's not. You are being eliminated. Unless you're part of their satanic New World Order, you're going to be eliminated. And I'm going to just do whatever they tell me to do so that they'll take care of me or whatever else. They're still going to eliminate you eventually. It's only for them and their friends, their little close circle of friends and whatever. The synagogue of Satan wants to take over this world and not have Jesus Christ take over. See, which is what Jesus Christ prophesied. One of the things he prophesied against them, and it made them very angry because he knew exactly what they're planning. So I just thought it was really interesting. I've been wanting to do this video for a little while because of reading that thing in there that King James himself said years ago, centuries ago, that there are deceptions of the devil that are illusions, and that his children, the people that are lost, they see them and it's oh, I saw this or I saw that. And as a Christian, you look and you go, what? That's a deception. I can see that. That's not real or whatever else. I see that thing with artificial intelligence all the time. I don't know how people fall for it. I don't know how you can justify it as a Christian. Well, I use it occasionally in the Mark of the Beast system, this horrible thing that's replacing people, forcing people out of their jobs. Satan's going to be using it mightily in the future, how can you justify that as a Christian? Whatever. So let me know your thoughts about this down in the comments section below. Have you ever experienced this thing where lost people see something and you see it too and you go, that's stupid, this is ridiculous, and lost people are, oh, you know. I think a lot of these distractions that they make, you know, the attempted assassination on Donald Trump, which was again a complete joke. Assassins don't just shoot randomly out into a crowd. They focus on the target and they make sure that the target is eliminated. It wasn't an assassination attempt, it was a media event. You know, oh, and I got hit in the ear and I went like this and there was blood all over my hand. You watch the video, there's no blood. Whatever. AR-15, you get shot in the ear and it just kind of goes through and then it heals and doesn't leave a mark. Okay. Yeah. You know, what was the blood about? They can do that in Hollywood all the time. Professional wrestling, you know, that Trump was involved with. He's an actor. But, you know, yeah. And you look at the video and the Secret Service guys are positioning the people with cameras and positioning so they get the iconic photo of, fight! Oh, get over here quickly. Okay, there, take the pictures. And this Charlie Kirk thing, you know, gets shot in the neck with a 30-06 and it doesn't, the bullet stops in his spine. Oh, okay. You know, and all the other lies and everything else about that. Sure, right. As Christians, we look and we go, what, you know? And of course, they have to make some false flag stuff happen in order to get us to go to war with Iran and Venezuela and whatever else, other things that they're planning. And the lost world's going to go along with it. A lot of them. But as Christians, you look and you say, oh, here we go again. Another deception of the devil. What's the latest thing now? Oh, there's another shooting, or there's another this or that, or... Yeah. But I'll say this one thing in closing, and that is that he who now letteth will let until he be taken out of the way. We're supposed to hinder this whole system. And part of that hindering is pointing out the lies and saying, that's not consistent with the truth. That's fake. That's false. Look at that. That's artificial intelligence right there. Why are you using that? That's what we're supposed to do. So, like I said, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.